Welcome, everyone. Thank you very much for joining us today. My name is Simon Wright. I'm the Director of Programming here at Japan House London. And welcome to today's event, Pushing the Boundaries of Textile Design, 40 Years of NUNO. This is being held in conjunction with our current exhibition, Design Discoveries, towards a Design Museum Japan, which is on display here at Japan House until the 8th of September. And we are delighted to welcome, as part of this program, the textile design innovator Sudō Reiko for a series of events exploring her own design discovery, which you can see in the exhibition, and of course her own textile work. This talk highlights the creative innovation of Sudō Reiko's leading textile design firm, NUNO, which celebrates its 40th anniversary this year. For those of you who don't know, though I'm sure many of you do, Sudō Reiko is one of Japan's most influential contemporary textile designers, known for her innovative textiles, sustainable manufacturing practices, and dedication to preserving Japanese textile heritage, integrating dyeing and weaving traditions with cutting-edge technology, creating unique textiles from materials like cotton, silk, metal, and paper. In this presentation, she discusses her groundbreaking career in textile and design, including her collaboration with the textile planner, the late Arai Jun'ichi, one of the founders of NUNO, and renowned for his innovation in textile design and admired by those textile designers and fashion designers such as Issey Miyake and Kawakubo of Comme Garçons. In addition to our audience here at Japan House, we are also broadcasting to an audience online, on Zoom, YouTube, Facebook, X, and LinkedIn. So welcome to all our online viewers. And this event is being recorded, and a recording will be archived on our social media platforms following the event, should you want to see it again. There's so much to say about Sudō-san, really. She's a great friend of Japan House London, for which I'm very, very thankful. She was born in Ibaraki Prefecture and is president of the design textile firm NUNO. She's Professor Emerita at Tokyo Zoukei University, visiting professor at Tama Art University. She is a member of the Japan Design Committee, one of only 5 women out of a total design committee of 31. She has been working as a textile design consultant for many years for various organizations, such as the Tsuruoka Textile Industry Cooperative in Yamagata Prefecture, and of course, Ryohin Keikaku, which you probably more commonly understand as MUJI. She has, in fact, been a member of the advisory board of MUJI since 2016. She has been the recipient of numerous awards. I think maybe, hopefully, we had something to do with that as well. We hosted an exhibition with Sudō Reiko in 2021 called Making NUNO. And in 2023, she received the Ministry of Education, Culture, Sports and Science and Technology Award in the Fine Arts category, one of only 2 textile designers ever to have received that award. And I think reference to our exhibition was cited in some of that explanation as well. Her works have been included in permanent collections throughout the world, in the Museum of Modern Art and the Metropolitan Museum of Art in New York, Museum of Fine Arts in Boston, Los Angeles County Museum of Art, the Victoria and Albert Museum here in London, the National Crafts Museum in Tokyo, and many other locations, including my wardrobe. So without further ado, I would hope you would warmly welcome with me our dear friend to Japan House London, Sudō Reiko. Thank you.
Konnichiwa. Hello, I'm textile designer of NUNO Corporation in Tokyo. Welcome to Japan House, London. Thank you all of you, and I will talk about our company NUNO. And it is really, really my great pleasure to be back here in London after 4 years and at Japan House, no less. I'm honored to have been selected as one of 7 designers in an exhibition upstairs, downstairs, it's same floor, representing Japan, which has no design museum. Today, I'd like to discuss how my textile design company, NUNO, came about and changes over the last 40 years. Thanks to everyone's support and patronage, NUNO began in 1984, several years after Japanese fashion designers made their so-called Black Attack debut on the catwalk of the Paris collection. Japanese textile makes played major role in propaganda, the loose, deconstructed look of that era. Among them was textile planner Arai Jun'ichi of Kiryu, a regional weaving and dyeing center 2 hours north of Tokyo. In April '84, Arai opened our functional textile shop in the heart of Tokyo under the motto, from the maker, direct to users. NUNO, as it looks in 1984, full of indigo and bleached fabric. However, Arai left NUNO in 1987. From then on, his works were tie-dyed pieces, like the ones in the background of his image. In 1996, NUNO doubled the space of its main store. So this is a photo in 1985. We have 9 members, and right now we have 9 members, 40 years, exact same. So I was the one of the founding members, and since 1987, I have been design director in charge of overseeing our entire production, together with 2 members, Sayuri Shimoda and Ueno Kazuhiro. In the 1980s, the Jomo region of Gunma Prefecture around Kiryu, 2 hours north of Tokyo, was known for its masterful kimono textile, especially those with fine long fiber weaving and intricate embroidery. This allowed us free access to their expertise in jacquard looming, rush shell warp knitting, March-headed embroidery lace, and sifri embroidery. The artisan in the area also had a long history in March-layered textiles, double weave, multiple weaves with different patterns front and back. Pocket weave, all thanks to automated looms invented in France at the turn of the 19th century. In actual practice, designing at the time involved drawing patterns, faxing them to mills up in Jomo-gunma area, where the black and white data would be translated into punch cards, cardboard punch card like this one, then waiting breathlessly for days until the first weave sample arrived. The process by which my own drawing became a finished design further demand choosing materials, threads, colors, and textures. As with cooking, the designer had to refine the flavor of each fabric by carefully adjusting the number and direction of threads, twists, density of warped to weft, color combinations, and 1,000 other ingredient details. Even now, I feel proud and almost amazed by what we achieved by the production method of those times. The 1990s, when Japan's economic bubble burst, domestic manufacturers increasingly moved their operations overseas, which brought changes to NUNO's textile production. We heard from experts in other fields about diverse processes and previously overlooked materials such as metals, handmade paper, washi paper, and feathers, and began activity experimenting with them. The initial impetus came from the spiraling process developed by Sudō Inc. in Mikawa, near Nagoya, used for coating resin fiber polyester with a metallic finish. We used it to create an unprecedented soft draping cloth with a stainless steel seam. After that, we began to explore textile productions centered throughout Japan. We made textile incorporating feathers, machine made from kozo, mulberry fibers. Strong minowashi was traditionally used for making shifu paper cloth. We stripped thin strip between layers of silk organza, creating patterns like floating water. And again, we made textile incorporating stainless steel and copper wire. Fujiyoshida in Yamanashi Prefecture. Many of these foods have been selected for the design collection of museums worldwide. This fabric, named patched paper, uses a floating weave structure and it's cut by hand. Likewise, in the Nishijin district of Kyoto, we found a craftsman who could do banadai, stainless steel microfiber for tires for lunar luba vehicles, supple like cotton, but as heavy as steel, which is hard on looms. We've done three repeat productions of this stainless steel fabric so far, each at different mills. No one ever wants to do it again. So we are not able to make it anymore. After weaving, we finished the surface with a burner to achieve a rainbow effect. Also, in the Nishijin district of Kyoto, we found artisans who could affix glass beads, handmade washi paper, even a rubber band to close with adhesives. And in the Kyoto region, north of Kyoto, silk and metal foil artisan helped us with countless ideas that led to many new ideas and designs. In the Kyoto district, a silk weaving region said to have begun 1,300 years ago. The technique of applying a strong twist to silk threads has been refined. Also, it was in the region that it was discovered that silk fabrics shrink in salt water. In the weaving and dyeing area of Fukui Prefecture, on the north central coast of Honshu, which abounds with many new techniques. For example, slitting and weaving films as thin as 12 microns, and technique for controlling and weaving fishing line, which is tough and difficult to handle. I was inspired by the unforgettable words of one technician named Mr. Yamazaki Masaji of Yamazaki Velvet in that area. He said, the role of the designer is to shake me up with ideas. The more we visited different weaving and dyeing areas, the more it made me question what the work of textile designers can do. We obtained patent for technique used in such designed as rust dye, jellyfish, origami pleats, pinch puff, created together with various workshops or in collaboration with the Gunma Prefecture Textile Industry Laboratory. Rust is a problem. Once it gets on something, you will never get it out. On the other hand, it makes a wonderful transfer dye. As I will show, our technique, which NUNO has patented, it's very simple. First, we sandwich rusty iron plates or barbed wire or nails between two pieces of moist fabric. Next, we weight these down with a buffering agent like a futon, quilt, or blanket, and let it sit for 2 days or so. Then when we got the desired rust color, we remove the rusty parts, rinse off the oxidized iron to neutralize the reaction and let it dry. A very primitive process produced 2 mirrored pieces of fabric each time. The 2 sizes of the sandwich. Next, jellyfish. We at NUNO love to adapt industrial material from other fields for making textiles. We found out that polyvinyl alcohol shrinks at 50 centigrade and decided to utilize that characteristic in combination with highly thermoplastic polyester organza to create a sculpted textile. We stitched 2 fabrics together and heated them on oven to 85 centigrade, when upon the entire mass thrives before our eyes. So we experimented in the kitchen baking little textile cookies at different temperature until we discovered ideal control conditions. Then took the project to Nakanishi Senko Dye Works in Shiga near Kyoto, a leafing specialist in Shiga, who agreed to reproduce our stitched needlework with printing. The result of all this try and error was a non-patented process, a now patented process. and luminous jellyfish-like drifts of translucent organza. Again, origami pleats, we originally developed our patented origami pleats technique in the 1997. Fabric is inserted between two folded paper molds and heat set. It is really a very simple technique. Based on this origami pleats technique, 10 years later, we added heat cut bends to achieve a net design. From this new fabric, which we called Tanabata, we created 40 lanterns for the Intercontinental Hotel in Tokyo. Everywhere I went, I was continually in awe of the immense living heritage of skills and techniques embodied in the artisan and technician we met. Pinch Puff, created together with various workshops or in collaboration with the Gunma Prefecture Textile Industry Laboratory. All the techniques involve working by hand. Even today, manual labor plays an essential part in textile production. Local weaving and dyeing area cannot survive without the expertise of artisan handiwork. Everywhere I went, I was continuously and keep doing this, meeting people and technique embodied in the artisan and technician. The 2000 long years of textile making inevitably generate vast amount of remnants and unsold reminders. Rather than simply dispose of them and waste the fruits of so many labors, we stockpile our leftovers until the sheer volume becomes overwhelming. That's began our NUNO Remnants series, whereby we use such bits and pieces to create new designs such as NUNO Tsunagi, connect, patchwork, NUNO Kasane, multi-layered patchwork, NUNO Tsugihagi, darning, patchwork. Most of these patchwork designs date from around 2001. When Japan's Ministry of Environmental enacted a new recycle law, which accelerated effort to treat plastic and recycle plastic waste. For textile professionals, plastic immediately meant polyesters. In 2002, synthetic fiber manufacturer Teijin Frontier developed EcoCircle, a system for recycling post-consumer polyester products, which we wholeheartedly started using in our textile. This further prompted us to activity designed hybrid textile combining water shedding and water attracting materials, while gradually phasing out using petroleum-based materials. We took advantage of polyester's heat memory to create origami pleats and tanabata, but now a new process allows us to weave, fold, Wright on the loom without a template. This woven fabric called polygamy automatically shrink into fold when put in hot water. Here are some polygamy lights created in 2015 for the Oita Prefecture Art Museum designed by architects Shigeru Ban Shigeru. In this era, we started making biodegradable plastic fabric. 24 years after its creation, this cloth has shattered and almost disappeared in storage bags. There's a museum that has this textile in its collection, but I'm worried about what is happening to it now. And you can see the bottom of the table, the actual pieces after 24 years. You can just feel it. And I'm sorry for the museum. The 2010s, following up on this thinking, we started experimenting with byproducts and waste material of silk milling. Kibiso and Ogaramichoshi, and created designs presented in the 2016 exhibition Scraps at the Cooper Hewitt Design Museum in New York. I first visited Tsuruoka in 2007 and met with various officials. The very next year, we launched a project to find uses for otherwise wasted silk byproducts. In 2009, the area around 4 silk mill buildings, like photo, from 1910 were designated the cultural heritage site. Japan's modernization and the silk industry by the early 20th century, Japan was the #1 exporter of silk in the world. But export fell after the 1929 market crash, and demand for silk declined after the invention of nylon in 1940. Together with the Tsuruoka Weavers Cooperative, we started a project to find uses for kibiso. At an average thickness of 5,000 denier, the applications for the material seems very limited. At first, we couldn't make threads fine enough for automated looms. So we asked retired silk mill women to weave and knit by hand. Rice straw was traditionally used to make sandals called waraji, still handmade in Tsuruoka. It seems natural to combine the two things and produce waraji using kibiso. Now let's focus on our kibiso projects. Weaving kibiso was still very difficult until Kato Satoshi of the cooperative found a way to refine the fiber down to 500 denier, still too thick for automatic machine looming. Textured cloth combining 500 denier kibiso and overspun cotton. Woven kibiso doesn't feel sleek and smooth like silk. It's rough and resilient. The simple motion of the Dobby loom are well suited to overspun weft. The woven stripe pattern is treated with hot water and steam to tighten its texture, a NUNO technique. Using the full width of this thick textured fabric, we make bags without any waste. Kibiso contain lots of sericin, an amino acid compound very similar to the natural moisture factor, NMF, compounds in the human skin. One cocoon yields 1,300 meters of thread. This last bit that sticks to the metal spinning rod is called ogaramichoshi. Spreading ogaramichoshi by hand, it breaks into small flakes. Laying out flakes by hand like a mosaic, we make beautiful membrane sheets. Japanese Ministry of Economy, Trade and Industry data at the time held that some 510,000 tons of clothing were discarded annually in Japan. A good portion of which find its way to reclaiming industry in the Owari region near Nagoya. 100% wool sweaters, jumpers, and other old clothes, fabric cutting, and lint all went into making reclaimed wool. At its peak, some 100 trade houses in Ichinomiya sold reclaimed wool. Of these, 10 remains active today, and the city of Ichinomiya still regularly collects using wool garments. Collected items are hand-sorted by material. 100% wool items are further subdivided by color. Then they are fed through a shredder to make scraps of uniform lengths. And the rendered into 100 kilogram lots of single color fiber wadding that can be spun into yarns of various sizes and color. One tasteful reclaimed wool design of ours was used to upholster products in a collaborative project with Japanese furniture maker Karimoku Furniture Inc. Now, back in 2008, we created 69 koinobori cup streamers out of NUNO Textile for a Japan-US Friendship exhibition at the Kennedy Center in Washington, D.C. In 2014, these become 100 carved streamers at the Museum in Paris. And 2018, we filled the 2,000 square meter space at National Arts Center in Tokyo with a 330 cup streamer. Correct? This can't move. Yeah. Sorry. But I think I made a mistake. Oh, yeah. Sorry. Someone? No, maybe not. It's fine. Oh, yes, moving now. Suspended installation entitled Koinobori Now. This installation, we collaborated with French architects Adrien Gardel and Sage Saito. I think we saw from the beginning. Rhizomatics did the digital installation on the ceiling. So thereafter, in 2019, the CUP swam to Oita Prefecture Art Museum, OPAM, and Hong Kong's Center for Heritage Arts and Textile, CHAT, as part of the Making NUNO show, which then came here to Japan House London in 2020. An in-depth presentation of our entire textile creating practice, making done. And most recently, the CUP resurfaced last year at the Regional Museum in Japan. Now, as the global climate continue to destabilize, causing calamities worldwide, I feel we designers who are in the business of making material products must give ever more serious consideration to environmental issues. Out activities might seem largely unrelated to tackling major environmental changes. But the sum of our small efforts can help to stimulate people's awareness and understanding of the problems and what needs to be done. I feel design can contribute to the broader circle of positive engagement. Thank you for listening to my talk about NUNO's work in textiles over the last 40 years. I can't say where our designs will evolve from here on, but who knows, maybe in another decade or two, I might be able to present very much.
Thank you very much, Sudō-san. Please, if you'd like to take a seat. We have time for some questions, should you have any. Thank you very much indeed. I will start with one, if I may.
Yes.
It was very nostalgic.
Nostalgic, yes.
To see so many of your creations which appeared in our exhibition.
Yes.
That we worked on together, Making NUNO, here, which we created completely in lockdown with nobody meeting each other, completely through numerous Zoom meetings.
Right.
But was wonderful. Thank you so much for having to do.
The best show.
Well, that's a good thing to hear, isn't
it?
Yes,
it was, really.
I just wondered, I mean, of course, we mentioned the award you received in 2023, last year.
Oh, thank you.
From the Minister of Education, Culture, Science and Technology, and whether that exhibition had anything to do with it, do you think?
Yeah, actually, they mentioned Making NUNO exhibition. And the reason was that NUNO fabrics production is a co-creation with artisans in all over Japan. And at the same time, the exhibition is a co-creation with numerous museums and galleries. They actually said.
Well, that's testament to all of your work. I mean, you work very generously, I think, with people around Japan, and your concentration on the maintenance of tradition and skills is, I think, extremely important. And so thank you very much.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you for everyone. Yeah.
Do we
Really,
have
really
any
support.
Do we have any questions? We do. We have a microphone, and if we can get the microphone to you, that means that people can hear online as well. If you could put your hand up, please, in the front. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Reiko.
Thank you very much.
It's on.
Thank you very much, Reiko. That was wonderful
Thank you.
and so generous. You are always so generous. What comes over is what a remarkable career you've had over the years, and how you have managed to take advantage, be aware and take advantage of things that were going on around you in a way that has enabled you to achieve what you have achieved. I wonder, Reiko, if a young Reiko came to you now and said, what advice would you give me? What advice would you give them? Other than don't do it.
Oh. I would say to Reiko, you have to have more confidence. I'm so always like, I'm so afraid. I'm still insecure all the time. But I really wanted to say to Reiko, Reiko, why? You have to be more confident, and you have to be more positive. I wanted to say to her.
Thank you. Thank you. We have a question here, I can see. We can get the microphone to you. Thank you.
Thank you for that.
Thank you.
My question is, do you have a process for coming up with your designs, like a specific place you get your inspiration, or is it more fluid? Like, where do you find your ideas? Where's the source of things for you?
Main idea came from when I just moved with something, or I was really, really inspired, or I felt, oh, this is really beautiful. What is this? And that was like a rust dyeing idea. I was just walking around the neighborhood and in the rainy season, and the beautiful line from the roof to the white wall. And it was so beautiful, orange color. And I just, wow, what a beautiful color. How do I make this? So that one thing. And I always have a little notebook, and I always draw things like at the gallery, I do have a little notebook, yes, Muji notebook, and yeah.
Of course.
It's really easy to carry. So that was also like a drawing.
Thank you. Thank you. I was very moved actually by the number of notebooks that you were able to display with the exhibits in our Making NUNO exhibition, for example.
Mm.
You're constantly filling notebooks with ideas and drawings. Thank you. Do we have any other questions from here? We have somebody over there. Yes, if you could keep your hand up so that we can get the microphone to you. Thank you.
So in a lot of creative processes, accidents often happen and create positive outcomes. Has there been something accidental that has happened while you were making a fabric that had an unexpected but positive outcome?
Unexpected accidents.
Always. Always. Yes. Very, very always. So, and a quite interesting experience for me. And one of the museum curator came to NUNO and tried to find like a collection of her museum. And one textile has a stainless steel wire. And that one moved because it didn't really fix. And when you move the fabric moves, and different like a mole kind of pattern are made up. And I thought that was the beauty of the material. And I was so happy when I made it. But she told me, this is not the design. Design has to be, but I think that was one real reason to go. I can't say no, or I can't say like I rejected, or it was really true. Has to control. Design has to have a certain control, and every time you can make exact same thing. That's really, really important part. But at the same time, I enjoy fabric moves different way, and then sometimes NUNO textile like that. But I kind of let them move or change.
Thank you very much. We have some questions online as well, which is why I've been looking down here. We've got two questions which are quite similar, so maybe we can put them together. Someone's visiting Japan this autumn. Where can they see NUNO creations? And do you have any recommendations where to see textiles?
Production.
It doesn't say that. It can be that though. Textiles.
Textile NUNO.
Textiles NUNO. And you can
Visit
include
NUNO.
production, and you can include museums as well, I think, and workshops or anything.
Lately, some of the textile mills started to open to the public. Like Kyotango has a space, and Yamanashi also started to open the open factory, and some of and Kurume in Fukuoka. There are some open factory in Japan, so you can maybe Google, or maybe I can. Please send me a email, and I can.
That's very generous of you.
Some information.
Thank you. And any museums or galleries would you recommend?
Museum. Textile, of course, like in Kanazawa, there's a nice craft museum, National Craft Museum, and also 国立博物館は Tokyo National Museum in Tokyo.
Okay, I know that you made a program with
And
NHK
also, yes,
going to Okinawa.
Okinawa, Okinawa also. And Miyake, of course, in Komaba.
Okay, sorry, I just lost my questions here. Thank you. Okay, thank you very much indeed. We have another question here. What kinds of textiles or products, materials, are you excited about at the moment?
Oh. There is the heat reacted material called polyester, and also there's only one company who can deal with like a triaxial weave, and we actually use it triaxial weave as well. And recently I've been working with light control material, that the material can control the light, like not completely get dark, blackout, more like maybe 30%. The fabric can control the light, or 50%, or so that's sort of like heat and light.
Heat and light.
Reactive with heat and light is very, very important for me right at the moment.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Do we have any other questions? We do, yes. If we can have a microphone to come to you, please, so that people online can hear. Thank you.
I just wanted to say that the best place to go is Reiko's shop in Roppongi in the Axis building, where I basically lived in the mid-90s when I was there.
Thank
And a
you.
testament is my scarf closet, which is 90% NUNO, but it's the best place to go. It's a Latin's treasure. And
Oh.
there are so many things to look at, and you can spend hours there. That's all I would say, because she has the best aesthetic of anyone I've ever met.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Well, indeed. Other textiles are available in Japan as well, just to make sure. Do we have any other question? We do in the front, actually. If we could have a microphone. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Sudō-san, for the
ありがとうございます。
very insightful talk. And you mentioned on the other day that the design is a collaboration. And you collaborated so many different artists, designers, architects. And for the NUNO exhibition here, I remember that Saito Seiichi-san had a kind of talk with Simon, I think, so online. And then could you elaborate the sort of elements, how you collaborate with Saito Seiichi Rhizomatix for the exhibition a little bit more?
How? How do I meet or
How do you collaborate? How do you cooperate with Saido Seiichi and Rhizomatics?
Rhizomatix? I first met him in 2012, 11, 12. And at the time, well, we have a mutual friend, and he made our website, but he couldn't do it because he's moving to America. And he introduced Saito Seiichi. They are classmates, so that's why I met him. But of course, he was already very, very big name at the time. He did Nike or like perfumes, of course. But he was so nice. And that was how I started to work together. And when I asked him to recreate our website, and he told me, I have one big favor to ask of you. I can do it, but I really want to do a shooting of one of the meals, which people can see the actual production processes. So that was how I really communicate with Saito-san more like naturally. And he always came to visit the meals when I asked, well, next meal will be Yamagata and Kyoto and Fukui. He came over with us all the time. So that's how we work together.
So in the Making Nuno exhibition, there are films with each of the production centers, the textile mills, and Saito-san helped with that.
Yeah.
I mean, you say that he's a nice person. I think it's probably because you're a nice person as well, actually, I would say. And of course, this personal contact. I met Saito-san as well in 2019 when we first got
Right.
together and thought
Yeah.
about this exhibition, for example. And that really helped, yes, in order to get it working over Zoom, even in 2021 during lockdown. But I think it's thanks to you, really, to be honest. I have another question online, if I may. I may regret this one, I'm not sure. It's a bit complicated. Can you share your thoughts about the future of Japanese silk in the context of sustainability and ethics? 持続可能性と倫理. For example, how can local silk artisans find ethical ways to obtain silk from silkworm cocoons?
Well, actually, silk is the only one material we Japanese produce from the cocoon to the final product. And there's only like 2 mil remain right now, and it's getting really getting shrink. But government supported 100%. So I think until if government stop supported, then it would be a little hard. But right now in Kumamoto area, there's build a new invention to kind of cultivate it. It's not cultivated, it's more like a industrial made silkworm. Really, really industrial made. Means like they don't use kuano mulberry leaf, and they made a mulberry powder, and it's like automatically they can eat, and the mulberry leaf doesn't need a fresh because they can eat in powder. So it's lots of silkworm and silk cocoon are created right now. But this project is not for the public. So unfortunately, but later, at the moment, the spilling the thread are not evenly made. So when they try to make a thread, and sometimes so then you can't get the 1,300 meter length of the silk, then you can't make a raw silk. So only like a spun silk. But I think spun silk is fine. I really love spun silk. Dry and still really keep you moisture and so on. So I'm kind of optimistic, kind and silk are very, very important for cosmetics and medical use, and also maybe underwear or some kind of like a silk, very close to your skin. We really need the silk, but for the allergy people, we're not supposed to wear sometimes.
Your kibiso, the project of kibiso,
Kibiso
is also very important. I think that which would be wasted normally is being used in a whole
right
new way.
Yes,
You
and
explained it.
also if people realize kibiso is a wonderful material, then reading mill has to have in locally. So we should have reading mill in our country. So that was another reason I just keep promoting kibiso. So you can maybe import the silk thread, but you can't import cocoon because cocoon is just lots of air inside, and if you import it, it seems like imported air. Nothing in there. っていうか、でしょ？そういうのありますよね。
I think the silk question will continue, won't it? Thank you. But it was one of the most popular exhibits in our exhibition, actually, in making NUNO, the kibiso production system. So thank you. We've really run out of time, but there is one last question online, which I think is probably quite suited to you. The question is, how can we make sure that we continue to create and enable designers to shake up the system with ideas?
難しい。
What is the foundation of a good designer?
どういう意味？
デザイナーの基本は何でしょうか？
デザイナーの基本はやっぱりもう常に自分がこう感受性豊かであることだと思うんですよね。
どうぞ。
ね、英語で言うの。
そう。
So how you motivate じゃないね。How you influenced by something. Always. それでいいの？違うな。ちょっと違う。ニュアンスが違う。
How do you, what, I think maybe here as well, how do we, you're a teacher as well, you're an educator as well. How do you influence young designers to become good?
やっぱりさっき私にレスリーさんがレスリーさんの question what do you want to say to your young Reiko やっぱり自信あなたは才能あるよ you have a talent really have a talent you have to be confident with how what you want to do you have a talent.
So there we go. Shake up the
So-
system with your with confidence of your talent.
So
Okay.
curiosity. So that's the word. Curiosity.
Unanswered because I saw Reiko working, and I was there in her studio, and she was working, making a small work, very long piece of paper, and it's just one shape after another, and it's right. It was absolutely spot on. I'm a painter, I know about these things, and it looked wonderful. I couldn't do it. She did it just like that. Now, that rightness is something that's the artist. I think that's the answer.
Oh.
It's there, it's the artist.
Fantastic. Thank you. There we go. What a note to finish on. Thank you very much indeed. Sudō Reiko, thank you.
Thank you for 皆さんありがとうございました。
Thank you very much. Just to say that we do have Sudō's chosen design, Sudō-san's chosen design discovery in the exhibition, Design Discoveries Towards a Design Museum Japan. Please do go and visit it if you are here at Japan House. And of course, Sudō-san is going to tomorrow. We're going to Scotland and she will visit the V&A Dundee, where the final iteration of the Kimono Kyoto to Catwalk exhibition, which was first here at the V&A in London, where is being shown, and Sudō-san's piece is also in that, and she'll be giving several gallery tours. But once again, thank you very much indeed. Sudō Reiko, thank you very much for joining us, and thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you.